Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of American Primeval on Netflix. Now, this is billed as a limited series, 6 episodes, varying in length, from usually about an hour long, give or take with the credits, to one being about 36 minutes. I don't know if they're going to be doing a second season or a prequel or whatnot, but I had issues with this. I had my fun with it because it just seemed like somebody that took all their favorite Western movies and smashed them all together. We've got bounty hunter things going on. We've got Dances with Wolves kind of dude doing stuff. We've got Captured by Native American kind of thing going on. We've got Trying to Find My Wife thing going on. We've got three-way fights kind of going on between the Mormons and the U.S. government and the Native Americans. And we've also got this kind of hell on wheels kind of thing going on at Fort Bridger, which was actually the most interesting thing kind of going on in this. But as you can see, they did all that kind of stuff and essentially just went to violent set piece after violent set piece. And I don't mean that to be oh, we should eschew violence or whatnot. It's just that just seemed to be the end game goal of just to hurry along to this big action kind of set piece and just have it be as violent and kind of crazy as possible. And it was just, oh my god, that leads to characters doing stupid things and characters kind of dodging consequences because they become the main plot anchor for stupid things to be facilitated for. That is nowhere more apparent than with the character of Sarah Holloway Rowell. Oh my god. I know she's trying to protect her son, but she makes the dumbest fucking decisions that usually go against that kind of goal whatsoever. It's alright. Because this is evidently the series is set in 1857 during the Utah War, which I was not that well versed with. I'm oh, okay. Now, we don't really have that many episodes to really dive into these characters. It's just mainly wham bam thank you ma'am and we're going off to it. And oh my god. You kind of understand what the Mormons were trying to do of essentially trying to make certain kind of things look like Native American attacks. But it just keeps snowballing and snowballing as stupid characters have to do stupid things to keep the plot kind of going. Oh my god. As we see that Sarah and her son Devin are attempting to get to Crook Springs. You will know that well enough because she keeps harping upon it constantly. So, they get to Fort Bridger. Their guide dude was late. Of course, the guide dude that she was going to get to go there has left because they were late. And let's see. No, not him. Not him. No. Jim Bridger. He's one of the best characters in here. We also get Two Moons, this other kind of character who had her tongue cut out. She's also an interesting character because most of the stuff she does is pretty smart. And these two characters are the things that kind of cinched it for me and made it as enjoyable as it was. Because seeing Jim Bridger trying to deal with the Mormons and deal with everything kind of going on would have been a better kind of central main focus. Doing it kind of focusing like Hell on Wheels, I think would have made a better kind of story. Because all we get is the central linchpin of Sarah trying to get to Crook Springs and being I need somebody to take me here. I need some... if they had kind of varied her dialogue or whatnot, or kind of amped it up with other kind of characters having kind of better dialogue as well, I think we would have had a better kind of thing. But no, she's just dogmatically going, this. Alright, fine. We get that this one dude was gonna try and take her, but he gets shot by a Frenchman, and then the Frenchman gets strung up. It's what the fuck is kind of going on here? And it's mainly, I guess, just to show the brutality of the western frontier because her son wants to pretty much go back home and has a leg brace, but we don't know why he has a leg brace. And then because they're like going in the woods at a certain kind of point, Isaac Reed, who's what he played by Taylor Kittich, who played Gambit in X-Men Origins Wolverine, and John Carter in the John Carter movie, and Battleship. I have no problem with him. It's just his character gets completely and utterly fucked over because he pretty much gets attached to Sarah and Devin. More, I would think, to Devin because the mother is batshit fucking crazy, and we don't really get any like romantic chemistry with them until he pretty much dies at the end. But he doesn't want to deal with any kind of shit. He doesn't have any reason to, and we find out later on that like his family, his wife and child were murdered, and that it is just completely and utterly broken him. The Shoshone are the main kind of group of Native Americans that we're dealing with, and he is evidently the son of like the head matriarch of the Shoshone. Then we've got Red Feather, her son as well, who's kind of like broken off and is attempting to be taking his war against the government, the Mormons, and all the rest of the settlers. So we've got everything kind of going on there. Isaac is like, fuck off. And Sarah's like, fine. And then she hooks up with Jacob Pratt, who then becomes annoying because he's the one that's trying to go after his wife Abish. They're kind of going out, and then the Mormons are like, make it look like natives. We get the whole kind of inciting incident, which kind of like leads off with the government trying to investigate this attack. Jacob pretty much is almost scalped by one of the people, but survives. Abish and others are taken. She gets taken by Red Feather, and her shit really just devolves to like trying to escape and then kind of accepting and then coming to the Shoshone under Red Feather's mother, and just being like chill as shit. She evidently wasn't really that keen to marry Jacob, but again, nothing has really dove into that much for it, and it's just like, alright, cool, you're not into him, fine, whatever. And then he's just pretty much like completely and utterly fucked up by this incident and is like, I'm going for Abish. And then this other dude, Virgil, gets hooked up that Sarah has a bounty on her, kills the bounty hunter, and him and his brother kind of go off, and that's just, it's like hooking up every kind of Western trope from every other kind of Western movie and not even doing that much work to do their own spin on it. I don't have a problem with tropes. Just make it kind of your own or execute it well enough for me to give a crap. And that just really isn't happening. So Sarah gets saved by Isaac, and Sarah and Devin get saved by Isaac, and they're kind of dealing with that. They also get hooked up with Two Moons because she had hooked up Ride in the wagon that Sarah and Devin were driving because she killed someone that was trying to rape her and just like fucking fucked off. So they pretty much are trying to escape from the Mormons coming after them, and that dude is still trying to fix that situation all the time. Let's see. Yeah. Of course, Reed tells the army that it was mainly the Mormons, and they're trying to figure out what's kind of going on. So Jacob and one of the Mormon militia are pretty much trying to go and link up with Virgil to try and find Abish. We do see that Isaac tries to do his best to kind of do things, but Sarah doesn't trust him and pretty much always gets into a situation that pretty much should have outrightly killed them all. Fucking up the whole traitors kind of thing, getting it into a shootout, trying to help this little girl, and Isaac is like, if people were trying to find her, they would be shouting and we would be hearing him. Nope, gets captured. Now, this is where she actually does pretty much get consequences of her actions. Like, her son gets pretty much cracked on the head a lot. She gets raped by this weird-ass Frenchman, cannibal, hills have eyes kind of people kind of thing, before they're able to pretty much get in and kill the rest of those motherfuckers. And she also does not take care of her horse, which they then switch horses with Devin. Devin then gets fucked up completely by the horse because it throws his ass and starts fucking cracking on him. hitting him and breaking his leg. Not just breaking it, compound fracturing where the bone is through the skin. Then they have to be at a fucking kind of trapper's kind of place where how they fix it. I was pretty sure they were going to cut his fucking leg off, but no, they're able to somehow cauterize the wound to heal it enough. I'm like, depending upon how that kind of infection is done, if it's deep enough, that ain't gonna do shit. And if it's gotten into his bone, holy fuck. And it's like, now he would need the brace. But of course, that's about around the time where the bounty hunters catch up with him. Jacob figures out that the Mormons were behind the attack, kills the one dude. The bounty hunter Virgil dude just leaves his ass, and then he's just fucking fuck it off, and then he fights with the Mormons as they go and attack the dude that's doing the dances with wolves kind of shit with the army. It's like, okay, whatever. Because he's even writing a fucking journal that's even similar to it and everything. I'm like, oh my god. While this is going on, of course, Brigham Young is pretty much attempting to get Jim Bridger to fuck off of the fort using any kind of means necessary, but he gives him enough money, and Jim's like, alright, fine. And then they burn down the fort to make sure that nobody else comes into the territory, so they got their own little fiefdom kingdom kind of shit. It's like, okay? We've got enough plates spinning, let's just fucking get this fucking shit done and over with, man. So, Sarah gets captured while Devin and Two Moons are kind of convalescing in the thing and then having to fight wolves. Two Moons gonna get it fucked up. Isaac is able to get there, kill Virgil and the rest of the bounty hunters except for Virgil's brother, which then of course leads them to the last act where they get to pretty much Crook Springs. Isaac's leaving, but of course the other brothers are like, I'm gonna get this bounty, because we need some kind of antagonistical force. Even though his brother was a complete dick to him, you would think that he would just be like, alright, fuck off, and then leave him, but no. We gotta get a shootout and have Isaac fucking die. Be like, oh, and then Sarah, Devin, and Two Moons go off to California. They don't even go to Crook Springs because she's like talking about getting to Crook Springs for Devin's father because she killed the abusive kind of dickhead on the East Coast, and that's pretty much why she's got the entire bounty on her. The army dude gets killed because he's got a lieutenant that fucking betrays them. The one dude gets killed. That's pretty much who was supposed to be in charge of the whole fucking Mormon assault that fucked up everything. The Mormons also attack the Shoshone, and Jacob kills Abish accidentally, but it's like, oh yeah, because he's still kind of fucked up and kind of crazy. Red Feather gets killed. It's everybody pretty much dies. It's really fucking weird and kind of stupid to kind of go through. Now, deaths I don't have a problem with. They have to be meaningfully done. Otherwise, you don't connect with the character and it's just like, alright, this fucker's gonna probably die or whatnot. Why the fuck should I get invested? You have to watch out for that. That has to have impact and it has to have meaning. Otherwise, you're just gonna go through and you're gonna completely hamstring your plot. Because if you start following along that lines, you're gonna just start losing the characters that you need, and then you're gonna have to somehow upgrade someone to protagonist status who you had no intention of doing that whatsoever. At first, if plot armor is overdone to a certain kind of point, you're like, that motherfucker should have been dead 20 times over, and it gets kind of annoying. But then, the opposite is true, where if you actually let the consequences fall, your story fucking ends before you're even trying to do it. You're like, oh god, that's not good. So it's a definite balancing act. Here, most of the people just die and I didn't give a shit. Only ones I gave a shit about were pretty much Jim Bridger and Two Moons. And they were okay and they lived and I'm like, okay, cool. Everyone else, I'm like, alright, whatever. It was just very strange. I would not even recommend it to people that are fans of westerns, mainly because it is all different kind of western movies that were done vastly better in various different western movies and shows. Go watch those. I mean, it's shot well enough. There's beautiful shots of the wilderness and all that. The action is competently well done. It's just The characters and the plot and the overall moving of that is the issue. Like, they did good CGI work, good effects work on things. Like, I have no problems with that. Also, costuming, set design, it's just the overall thing of what's kind of going on with it. Kind of like when I'm doing video games. Like, if a plot or a story is pretty much subpar, but I can at least interact game-wise with it, I'm alright. But if I can't interact game-wise with it, and I have to fight controls or whatnot to even try and play it, you could have the best story ever and I got nothing. So, this has all of the good stuff. Even though certain kind of shots were really kind of weird, like, it would, like, focus on some kind of weird area while somebody was going off or whatnot, you would think they should have focused on the person kind of going off. It's just very strangely edited on certain kind of things. But everything other than that, like, is competently well done. And I don't really have any kind of problems with any of the actors. Like, I don't think anybody really acted badly. That's a thing that I've been trying to balance of, like, is this a bad actor or do they not have the content? And what I was seeing was like, there's no content here to really save, man. Like, you could be the best and it's like, alright, cool, whatever. So, I really wouldn't recommend this, mainly if you're a fan of action, westerns. Definitely don't watch it if you're squeamish for certain kind of things, because there's blood, guts, violence, and everything kind of going on. The rape scene is not shown, but they lead up to it. Yeah. This was a strange one. Like, I still got enjoyment out of seeing Bridger and Two Moons going through their kind of parts of the stories. So if you do watch it, look out for them to see what's kind of going on. And if you watched it and really had fun and enjoyment, I'm glad for that. That's always awesome. Keep that. That's cool. I just didn't have a good time with this. So, those are my opinions on American Primeval. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.